Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hi
Hi, Corey.
guys.
My name is Olger Gavroński, and I'm the project manager at Montreal. And today with me is Corey Morris, global chief marketing officer, sorry, at Spree, ex Airbnb, with years and years of experience in marketing. Hello, Corey. Nice to
Hey,
have you here.
Olgert, how you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing? Ready
I'm
to
good.
be interrogated? Interviewed.
You can interrogate me all you want. I am super excited to be here, and
Awesome.
thanks so much for inviting me.
All right. So I would like to pick your brains on the topics of retail, e-commerce, the
Yeah,
future of e-commerce. But to
yeah,
do that, I would like to get a little bit of context myself, because
sure.
what I'm interested first is how has retail changed in the last 10, 15 years? I mean, you've observed that you had the chance to see it changing. So I'm interested in mostly like the direction that the retail has gone in the last years and the new possibilities to which we
Sure,
will get,
sure.
right?
No, let's start there. Let's start high level, and then we can work our way to live
Hmm.
shopping. That sounds like
Sure.
an exciting path to go down. So the big thing is this came into the market, but we'll come back to that. If you really take a step back and not just look at the last 10 to 15 years, I think there's a few major shifts that we've had in retail. First, we've had physical stores forever, right? We all know physical stores and we still have them. Thank God we still have them. I love going into a physical store. But then in the late 90s, web shops started coming out. The World Wide Web came out, and that kind of revolutionized things in terms of retail because it gave us new avenues to sell products. And then around 2006, the smartphone came out, social media came out, and I think that's like been the last big evolution, if you will, within retail. So physical stores, then we transitioned to web shops, then we transitioned to smartphones. Let's just use that in terms of devices. Now, how we promote businesses has also changed a lot in terms of retail. Really, a simple way for me to think about it is that we've seen the shift from analog, paper. That's how we really advertised, promoted business because that was how people consumed media. Then that moved over to TV. That was big for a long time. Then we had web, then we had Google. So, and then we had social, which is more not just on the web, but it's also very app based. And again, because of this device, we're able to not only use all of those, but we're also able to use apps. So it's not only like where and how we shop, but also how we promote businesses and how we consume media. Now, there's two other streams that I want to talk about real quick while we're on the topic of retail and how it's evolved over the
Sure.
last
Hmm.
few years. Because we have all these different channels operating now, we have to come up with a way for those to work together. Hence, this beautiful term omni-channel. Because how do we get our physical store and our website and our social media, social selling, social commerce, whatever you want to call it, live shopping, if we want to call it that, how do you get those different channels to work together? So the integration of like these offline and online channels for a seamless customer experience, that's also been something that we've been working with. I don't think many of us uttered the term omni-channel many years ago, but we do now. The last one, and the one that's most recent and top of mind for everybody, are some of the challenges that we've been facing from global events. In particular, we had this really nasty thing called COVID-19 happen to us a few
Hmm.
years ago. And I think that's been a huge accelerator in terms of, okay, wow, we've really understood the power of the online component in our omni-channel. And we've also seen suddenly these things emerge like live shopping, where now we can use social media to drive sales, to drive engagement.
So you mentioned already live shopping. So let's dig
Sure.
into that, because I'm really interested like in the concept itself as well as what it offers. So let's just start with what is live shopping and why is it gaining traction?
Sure. So let's start again at a high level. So live
Hmm.
shopping, I can talk to you about the nuts and bolts of live shopping. I'll even show you an example of a live shopping event. But for those of you who are new to live shopping, I'll start by saying that it's the evolution of e-commerce. we went from physical stores to online. We've had social for a while, but we didn't really know how to include that in our retail. So this is kind of the evolution of retail. Now we can sell, we can create shoppable videos online on social media. But it's not only just the evolution of e-commerce. In many ways, it's the revolution of retail because it takes the best of an in-store experience and an online experience and brings those two together. So we have this third stream now that sits along those other two. And in many ways, it's the best of both worlds. But per definition, because I like just working with basic definitions, is live shopping is effectively like a live streamed video, key component there, live streamed video, hence the term live shopping, where a host, it could be me, talks about a product or a service, and where viewers, let's just say that's you on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever, you can interact with me real time, and you can buy things directly from the live video, hence the name shoppable video. And the fact that we're actually able to do that on things like Facebook and Instagram now, instead of having to send all that traffic to your website where there's nobody there to handhold them, that's the most remarkable part about live shopping.
So when you say interact with the person presenting the product, do you mean like people are able to ask questions during the live presentation, that they want to see a product from different angle, they want to see a particular function, and so on?
Exactly. And then that's where you use the comment field to do that. So that's where we are right now. How that's going to look in the future, who knows? That's really exciting too. But you're able to use the comment fields to ask questions. Often there's a moderator, and we can look at some examples in a moment. Often there's a moderator behind the camera saying, let's just say that you were the host, Olgerd. Be like, hey, Olgerd, we have Jane here from City A asking how that coffee you just drank, how it tastes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? That's live. That's real time. That's interactive. And I can get that, but I can only get that by coming down to the store and having a conversation with you. I'm never going to get that on a website. Even if I do, it's probably only going to be a one-to-one interaction. But in many cases, we have thousands of people watching a live shopping event at one time. So the amazing part is that you're able to do that at scale. And you're never going to have 4,000 people in your store talking to you, having your undivided attention. So that's another remarkable part of it.
That's what I wanted, because what I want to ask you is to show us example, of course, because that's what interesting. But before we get to that, you mentioned attention, engagement, and I suppose these are the crucial terms in retail, in e-commerce, and so on. And as you said, like traditional e-commerce doesn't offer that, right? This kind of like interaction with the people selling stuff.
We're improving those levels of interaction. I think chatbots and things like that, and you can most of the time you can interact with a website through some type of chatbot function, but you're never going to see a person. You're never going to be able to get a direct response. And also, you're never going to be able to do that in a community setting. Bear in mind that you're not the only one watching this event. You're watching it with thousands of others. And because of social media, you have a name and a face associated with that person. So in many ways, it's almost like a community, if you will, built around that particular live show.
Sure. All right, then without further ado, I want to see examples, and I suppose the people watching want to see examples too. So I know you have them lined up. So
I'll start by giving you a really high level example, and then we can go and look at some real life examples. Because I like to start at a conceptual level first and foremost. Now I'm going to try to share my screen here, and folks, just bear with us. All right, 1 second. And I'm going to share this window. Great. You guys can see it now, hopefully.
I guess so.
Try to make it bigger.
Can
you guys see this now?
Yeah.
So this isn't a real live show. We've actually just taken a snippet from it. That's why you don't see all the different comments coming in. But this is just to get you guys to a point where you understand the basics. So this is Panilla. She represents a company called eCooking, and right now, this could be Facebook. This could also be Instagram, where she's selling this glitter oil. at a discount, 30% discount. It's live. There are 206 people watching at the same time. Now, she's e-cooking is providing information saying because just imagine just before this, I asked Panilla, I used my comments. I said, hey, how big is the container? And then e-cooking, they say our glitter oil is 100 milliliters. Now they can write that comment as a comment here, or they could actually give this question to Panilla, and Panilla could say, oh, hey, Corey, thanks for asking this question. Our glitter oil is 100 milliliters. So there's different ways of giving feedback. Now, what's unique about this is, in this case, it's Sandra Larson. If Sandra wants to buy this oil, all she has to write is buy oil, and then that creates the purchase flow. There's some stuff that happens after this, which we can talk about, but this is just so you guys understand it at a really high level. And it's nothing more than a person doing exactly what they typically do in a store, is talk through a product, add a layer of information about a product, which is really hard to do on a website. But the difference here is that she's able to do this to 206 people at the same time. And she's offered to create a sense of urgency. And because it's live, it also creates a sense of fear of missing out. Do you have any specific questions about this? Because it typically,
I'm looking at the
started. It's like, okay, great. Tell me about this and this and this and this.
Yeah, so I'm most interested about the thing that I see at the top. So
Sure.
we have the offer, right, with glitter
Right.
oil, buy oil. So this is basically the same thing as typing that buy oil in the chat, right? So you start your user journey to the through the checkout and to complete your checkout process, right? So
Yeah.
my question is, like, I mean, I suppose we're
I'm
going
going to
to get
stop
that too,
sharing
but
this, Alex. I think it's what I'm going to stop sharing this one second because I think it's slowing us down.
It's slowing us down. Yeah. So just one question. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that person just managing this whole flow and so on. So one is presenting, the other one could at the same time, I suppose, live change these offers at the top of the screen and just manage the whole sell flow, or the customer journey there. So the all the elements can be changed.
Yeah, so it happens. So it really depends on your strategy. Sometimes, most of the times, it's a co-host. So it's a host and a co-host. So that creates an interesting dynamic. So it's two people sitting and talking about products. You don't have to have somebody behind the camera because it really requires nothing more than just a smartphone, and maybe if you want some better light, then maybe just a ring light, and then you can go live. But sometimes if you want somebody to kind of mediate the questions and stuff, there could be an advantage there. The way it typically works with us is that our product, for example, is like we have a special app that lets you control the show. So you basically, or if somebody else behind the screen is moderating that. So they just press a button and that product overlay comes up. So we use keywords, and that keyword, for example, was buy oil. And when you write buy oil, for example, in the comment, what that does is it opens a message in either Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger with a link that goes directly to the checkout flow with that specific product at that price point ready to be purchased. So you get an accelerated sales funnel that goes from product awareness to conversion much faster than you would in any other e-commerce content. Because imagine what typically happens when you go to a website. You're overwhelmed with product selection. Even though AI and recommendation engines have gotten better, I can still spend hours trying to figure out what type of pants I want to buy. And then when I figure out what type of pants I want to buy, I have to figure out what color. Then I have to figure out if my size is in stock. Most of the time, I'm probably if I put something in the cart, I'm going to abandon it because I'm not fully committed to it. We're able to accelerate that entire workflow. And that's why we get conversion rates of up to 60%. That's right. That's 60% conversion rates. And this is one of the reasons why people are so excited about live shopping versus traditional e-commerce.
That was exactly what I wanted to ask about. Like, huge thing for the retail owners is exactly that conversion, right? So
Yeah.
how many people decide to buy? What do you
Yeah.
think? What factors do you think contribute to high level of that conversion in live shopping events? What's so special about them that it
Well,
results in that?
yeah. So I think first of all, it's live. So
Uh-huh.
it's here, it's now. There's a sense of urgency. There's a sense of fear of missing out. I think the fact that it's interactive, that you can talk directly with your customers. I mean, think about it. Conversion rates are also really high when you go in store, especially if you talk to a salesperson, because the job of a salesperson is to make you feel good about that purchase, right? And to give you that level of information that's really hard to find by you just standing and looking at that article of clothing. Also, because I think what you typically find in a lot of live shopping events is there's an element of, I don't really know if this is a word, but it's called retail-tainment. So like retail-tainment, so like
Uh-huh.
retail
Uh-huh.
entertainment, um, where you're basically kind of converging retail and entertainment. You can do that with games, quizzes, competitions. In other words, you're making it fun. But I think the most important thing is that you're able to offer some type of exclusive experience to your community, because it's basically the people who are already following you on your Facebook, on your Instagram, or people you have a direct contact to via your newsletter. Um, and then all of those things combined, I think, kind of help move people through the so-called sales funnel much faster.
Okay, I'm satisfied for now, so I'll let you
We
show
can
up
always
the
come back to there's a lot more where that came from.
yeah. So I'll let you show up the presentation again to show us more examples
Yeah,
so
let's
we
go
can
back. Let's go back and
go
look at some more, because I think
through.
that this is really one of those things where you kind of have to see it and experience it to understand it. So let me show you guys a little bit more. And these are from real world examples. Make sure I get the right one. Okay. And I'm going to click on that. Okay. So we have we had nearly 2,000 customers, and we have hundreds of live shows every day. So it can become increasingly difficult to kind of pinpoint the ones that we want to show. But these are hot off the press, so to speak. These are ones that we featured on our LinkedIn page just recently. And just for those of you who are out there, if you really want to follow what's going on in live shopping, I recommend that you follow our Sprii company page on LinkedIn. We post on average 3 to 5 of our live shows every week, and they range from everything from this company like Americo, who does home decor, to clothing, to health and beauty, to bookstores, to national soccer teams. You'll see a bunch of those. But here, for example, this is a company called Imaco, which is basically they do everything from cutlery to cooking utensils. It's one of the major retailers in Denmark, and they were doing a special show around a really popular type of porcelain called Royal Copenhagen. It's a very exclusive thing, and you can only get this offer by watching their live show. So you can see it here. I'm going to start it for you, and I'm going to turn the volume up so you guys can hear it. It is in Danish, but I just want you guys to hear. So I'll go with this one.
I think it's mute.
So she's there. She's in the store. This is after hours, so you don't even have to go and create a unique studio. Um, and she's basically just talking about the product. There's a guy off camera who she's interacting with. He's basically doing the mediation, and she's just saying, hey, if you guys want this product right now, you are offering it at a discount, and if you want to buy it, then you just write yeah taxi. The cool thing about this, though, is that you can see all the people actually buying stuff already. Those are the keywords there. You can see how many people are watching. That's 2,500 people are watching this show at that moment. Now, that's just who watch it live. If we go back, and if you look at the overall stats here, since we posted this story, the number's probably bigger. I'll zoom in so you guys can see this.
Because it's still available, right? Or
still out there. And the cool
Uh-huh.
thing is, we're probably not even going to get a chance to dig into this. This video can also live on their website,
Hmm.
specifically around this particular product. Now that opens a whole nother discussion, but we'll pin that for now. But here's the interesting part. Since we posted this story 8 hours ago, they had 40,500 views of this video. They had more than 21,000 engagements. So that's comments, that's likes, that's hearts. And they did that with just a 45-minute video on Facebook.
Do we have also info about the sales they made?
We do, but we're not at liberty to share that
Okay.
unless they are. I do
Okay.
have some others that I can share with you, though.
Sure. Sure. Uh-huh.
I can tell you that without giving you a specific number, they pushed a significant amount of product. Um, it was overwhelming for all of us. This is one of the highest performing shows in recent memory. Um, Now, and everything's relatively speaking, right? This
Hmm.
is a well-known brand. They did everything themselves. It was their own marketing team, because a lot of these larger companies have marketing teams who just get it. Those who don't, we typically go in and we train them how to do live shopping, because let's face it, most organizations don't have a live shopping team, because it is, like I said before, it's this whole evolution in retail and e-commerce. But hey, before we run out of time, I want to show you a few others, because I
Sure.
think this is really where people understand it. So this is a company called Sustainagreina. They do decorations, and they did a Halloween theme. And what I'll show you here, this is not a video, but this is just images. You can see here they're walking around the store. Again, doing this in store seems to be the right thing to do, because it's already
Hmm.
there. And they're selling basically, these are small houses that you can paint yourself. So Susan Glenn is also really known for a lot of do-it-yourself hobby. And you can see she's all decorated. So it was very Halloween theme. And these are employees from Susan Glenn. They don't hire influencers or experts, because
Right.
all about being authentic, about being original. And as you can see here, there's just two hosts. I wanted to give you an example of two hosts. And here you can win a Christmas gift. So it's a lot of the gamification. I can tell you a little bit about why that's important. And here's just a few more examples. Let's look at the numbers from them as well. I will get out of this. They also had
So
some
it's
pretty
a so
numbers.
it's a combination of engaging people and, like you said, the gamification, and basically using the simplest tools you have, and then your imagination to prepare a kind of a setting for your sales presentation, right?
I mean, it's like any other thing that you're going to be doing, right? It's just an
Hmm.
extension of your brand, and you're going to make sure that it's on brand. You're going to do your just like everything else. You're not. I mean, your website's going to be different. Your in-store retail experience is going to be different. So your live shopping experience is going to be different. So there's really no fear involved, if you ask me, in terms of, oh, well, how are we going to do this different? Just stick with your brand identity. Just do what you always do. Sure, it's a new revenue stream, but it's not as though you have to completely reinvent the wheel. Again, just take what you're doing with your sales
Hmm.
force in store, combine a little of that magic that we have with your web shop, and then just go bring that to social media.
I was going to ask about the impact that live shopping can have on brand perception, but I mean, you kind of covered it. But what I also wanted to ask is, like, I suppose that brands now can, use these different techniques, and amongst them live shopping,
Sure.
to differentiate themselves from,
Yeah.
such a competitive market. Um, so you showed us a little bit of those, in-store experiences through live shopping, and I also wanted to basically ask you more about, like, a little bit of technical details here, if I may, because you mentioned the omni-channel kind of thing, right? So when someone decides to go with the live shopping, what kind of social media platforms they have available, and what's the best to actually go with the live shopping?
It really depends. If
Hmm.
you have a strong Instagram following, obviously that's a great opportunity. If you have a great Facebook following, that's also a great opportunity.
Sure.
Um,
Hmm.
you can push that to your website. I mean, a lot of people want to go live on their website, but you have to bear in mind that's not where people are. People are on social media. People are sitting in there scrolling, looking at their friends. So it's all about, do you want to meet people where they are, or do you want to drive them to your website? Now,
Hmm.
some, very few are successful in doing that. That's why we focus on doing live shopping specifically on social media. Now, the good thing with us is that you don't have to choose, because you can do it all the places at the same time. So you can go live on Instagram, you can go live on Facebook, you can even do that on your own website from the same stream. So you're actually to kill, a whole bunch of birds with one stone. And that doesn't matter. Let's just say you're a big brand and you have 10 different Facebook channels based upon different countries. Same thing with your Instagram. You can send the same stream across all of those. Let's just say, another example,
Hmm.
I want to work together with an influencer who has 5 million followers on her Instagram. Well, you're in luck, because you can actually send the same exact stream to her Instagram channel at the same time. So, again, there's no way to do this with a physical world. You're never going to get that mashup. You can't do it
Hmm.
with websites either. So again, this is really the retail world's. They finally were able to unlock the ability to commercialize social media. That's really what it boils down to.
But what about the technical requirements? Like, let's say I want to start my live shopping adventure now because I have a great product. Do I need to have my website, my e-commerce shop, anything lined up basically to start this, or what's the like? What are the typical requirements that somebody has to fulfill?
Yeah, to get started. So
Uh huh.
technical wise, you don't really need anything other than an iPhone. It doesn't have to be an iPhone. A smartphone would work.
Uh huh.
And then depending on what your MarTech stack looks like, your ecom stack looks like, whether it's Shopify, whether it's WooCommerce, one of those, our platform and most platforms integrate fully with those in a pure plug and play fashion. That's why we've been able to grow so fast, is because it's plug and play with your systems. Now, if you happen to be a brand or a retailer, say you're up and coming and you don't really have your own web shop yet, no worries, because we do have one built into our platform. Not sure if some of the others do, but
Hmm.
in short, getting started technically is not the barrier. It's more just taking that first step to do it. And I think what most people are surprised by is how fast and easy it is. I mean, we have people reach out to us, and within 24 hours, they're already ready to do their first live show. The most challenging part is actually planning your concept. So if I'm going to stand in front of a camera and sell something, I need to figure out what I'm going to sell. I need to kind of figure out what I'm going to say. That's where most people probably need to invest the most. The technical part, that's the easy part.
Um, our time is almost up, but I still have one question because we started with the history, like of retail and so on.
Yep.
But what is the future of retail then? I mean, we just covered that live shopping can be used to enhance this in-store experience, and you showed us an example of live shopping done specifically inside the store. What's next? Like, what is the future? What are the opportunities here? What is the general direction that the world of retail could go using live
Yeah.
shopping, or maybe something else?
Wow, that's a great question. And I tell you what, if I could give you that answer and look into my crystal ball,
We'd
uh,
be both millionaires.
I would be I'd be a trillion. I'd be the world's first trillionaire. No, I mean, let's look back and see how things have progressed just over the course of the last few years. I think we're just going to see a greater convergence of the physical and the digital. There's a term being bounced around right now called the phygital. I think that is where we'll see things. I don't know. I don't know how that sits with you, but I definitely think that we'll see. One thing I'm really certain of, and that's that video will play a much more pivotal role in retail. I think people have learned that because of live shopping and because of it, it's going to be it's projected to be a $500 billion industry within the next 2 years. Obviously, a lot of that's coming from China. That's where it started. But just in the UK alone, in the US alone, we're nearing $50 billion markets over the next 2 years. And a quarter of all the UK consumers have bought something from a live shopping event. So this isn't just a trend. This is a movement. So I think we're only seeing the tip of the proverbial iceberg in terms of how we can use video more actively in a commercial context. I see websites becoming a lot more a lot more video based as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that we're doing on social media in terms of live shopping will be more and more integrated into web shops. And who knows, I think that we'll have even more integration between online and offline. I think that this will become more an integral part of our day to day. And I'd actually like to see the whole live shopping experience and be a little bit more a part of the in-store experience, because people are looking for an experience. People are looking and hungry for a way to be engaged. And if I'm going to take the time and energy and come into a physical store, I'm looking for an experience. And you can get pretty far by doing that with your staff, but you can also incorporate things of your other omni-channel channels to make that more of an experience.
And I
Well, I
suppose on
mean,
the other hand, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's really kind of an off the cuff thing,
Uh-huh.
but I'm just really optimistic about what's going to happen in the retail space. I think retail is set up for exponential success over the next few years. We've learned so much in a post-COVID world, so let's continue these positive trends and movements.
Yeah, and I suppose the retailers are going to be more and more interested in actually getting people's attention, not only the conversion rates, because conversion is the end effect of getting people's attention.
I
Attention
mean,
sounds to me like a currency today.
we're in an attention economy, and
Yeah.
when people have different screens with them all the time, and everybody's fighting for attention, it's really just about how do you capture that. And again, just live shopping typically has a viewer time of around 20 to 30 minutes, and
Hmm.
that's really difficult to capture anyone's attention for 20 and 30 minutes. I know
Yeah,
myself included.
me too. All right. Thanks so much for all the answers. I'm good, but I see that there's also some questions from our viewers. So let's start with the first one. Um, there's a question about how can live shopping align with recent trends in limited edition products, such as a limited edition sneaker announcement? Because I suppose the viewer is interested, like how can it be used to kind of like market these time
Sure,
limited offers
sure.
to just
Yeah.
get them out fast?
So this fits perfectly with a live shopping strategy because it is live, it is here and now. It's limited, so that's going to create that sense of urgency. It's going to create that fear of missing out, which is the whole idea about doing exclusive, limited product drops. And I think that's really important to point out as well, because it's not all about just having heavily discounted products. There's actually some of our brands who don't want to use live shopping for that. They want to use it more for educating the consumer. But
Hmm.
to this question here, we actually have a brand who actually uses live shopping to do product drops. That's their go to market movement. Is every time they have a new product line, then they start by doing live shopping, and they don't even go in and heavily discount it. But if you want to be in the know about that product, then you start by watching their live shopping event. So it could be a way of kickstarting that live shopping event. I'm sorry, kickstarting that whole product drop,
Hmm.
because again, you're able to do this at scale. Alternatively, you'd have to have people go to your website. Alternatively, you would have to have people in your physical store. You could promote it on your social media, but that's more of a static, non-interactive way of doing that. So,
And I suppose you can basically
yeah, it
turn on
fits
your phone
perfectly.
and start selling, right? That's
Precisely,
that's it basically.
precisely. Yeah.
But there's actually another question about attention, and yeah, exactly that. Just wondering how this is different to TikTok live streaming shop. I mean, we all know that TikTok is a giant compared to anything right now, and when it comes to attention, they're winning big.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
very good question.
That's a great question, Kamal. And to be honest with you, the big difference is that you own the data and that you have to have everything integrated through TikTok Shop. Here, you take your Facebook channels, your Instagram channels, and you connect them with
Mhm.
your e-commerce system, so you control everything. Uh, so that's the big difference. And Instagram tried this, Facebook tried this, and both of them have shut down their services. So I don't know. I wish TikTok the best of luck because they're helping to grow the live shopping market. We have some pretty exciting stuff coming out around TikTok in the near future. So that's the major difference.
So isn't like I mean, because TikTok is mostly based off on very short videos, right?
Yep.
So isn't the
Yeah,
problem that
the average view time for a TikTok video is just a few seconds.
exactly?
And
So
that's the consumer behavior there as well. Is like, I mean,
yeah,
you guys have tried TikTok. You're in and out in no time.
yeah.
I don't really fit. It depends. I don't want to say whether it will or won't be a success
Hmm.
because consumer behavior changes. But it's definitely a lot different than Instagram and Facebook in terms of capturing people's attention. So the jury is still out as to whether they'll be able to capture as much viewer time as they do with the other mediums. But look, I mean, this is such a blue ocean, the whole live shopping space. So we actually enjoy the fact, we're huge advocates of anyone joining this space just to kind of move the so-called live shopping needle and educate people about what live shopping is.
Awesome. All right. I see there are no more questions, I think, but I'll give our viewers a couple more seconds if there's anything else.
Yeah, and,
I'll
and,
just,
and if somebody comes up with a
yeah,
question afterwards, or if you want more information, then I don't know if you guys are going to be sharing my information, but we can go ahead and put it out there now, so you guys can connect with me
we
on
might. Yeah.
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Hmm.
or you can also just write me. Pretty straightforward. It's Corey, Corey at Spree.io. I'd be happy to receive any questions and be happy to answer them as well.
All right. I think no more questions. So thank you very much, Corey, for answering everything I wanted to know. I'll be sure to get more info about live shopping because it looks like an interesting concept for the future. And to all our viewers, I would like to invite you all to the next panel, effective methods for boosting sales and enhancing brand loyalty. And now a short break. Thanks very much. And thank you, Corey.
Great. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
See ya.